Sup, Chaos 1072 here for another Chaos Toy review. Today, taking a look at the deluxe WildForce Megazord from Power Rangers WildForce. And this is indeed the American version. At least, actually it is, because easy way to tell is look at the bison's horns. If it is chrome, it's Japan. If it's like this, it's American. That's the easiest thing I've been able to use as a giveaway for which is which. So let's get into it. So this is one of the first seasons of Power Rangers we had where the Zords were interchangeable without creating a whole new combination. And this is one of the first few, trying to think, besides Lost Galaxy, this was the only other season so far up to this point that used animals and not vehicles or dinosaurs. And this also has quite a bit of die-cast, which we will go over as we look at each figure. So we'll go from we'll start with the Bison since it's the biggest. So the Bison Zord, you can't see any of the die-cast while in Bison mode, but it does have wheels on the underside of its legs, which is another mode we will get into. So it can roll in. Let's get all those out of the way. It does have posable horns, but that's more of a transformation. And now this is also a season that kind of had a secondary mode before the Megazord, which if you buy this new, or when you bought this new, came with this little platform used to hook up these guys for sort of carrier mode, but since it's kind of a shortcut into the transformation, we'll show it off. Even though I don't have the platform, but there's a way you can kind of make it work. So you fold up his legs so that the wheels are on the ground. Now you open up the Bison, because it comes in two halves, and then fold these little panels in. And then you're going to notice that you're kind of looking at this. Now you unpeg it, and then you extend it. And then under here there's some wheels. And then Bison's pretty much done for the carrier mode. Put him aside. We'll take a look at the Eagle. The Eagle you can kind of pose a little bit more dynamically, and as a note, all the mouths are open, or can be opened on the Zords. Now I bought this used, but I did have this set as a child, but I gave it away. But this is a used thing from eBay, so that's why the claws are a little loose. And here's some of the die-cast, and the die-cast on the bull is right here, which you will see in Megazord mode, and a little bit underneath. That's pretty much all the die-cast on that. And then the little hinges for the bird are also, well, the Eagle Zord are also die-cast, but you can do quite a bit of posing with the Eagle. It's got a little, and it's all ratchet joints, which feels so nice. So just kind of keep in mind with that it's not friction, and obviously with age there are ratchet joints and stuff like that. So you can kind of pose it how you want, kind of have it like, hello my son, welcome. Anyway, so you can pose the Eagle, but to kind of set it up for carrier Zord, or for carrier mode, just what I do is just kind of make it look like it's kind of standing up, and it kind of uses the hold this as the back as a weight of sorts, or just kind of, yeah, just kind of pose it like this, and we'll put it aside for now. Then we'll take a look at the White Tiger Zord, which is reused for a few other things, but has an openable mouth and a rotation, but that's just because it becomes a hand. And then if you pull out the head, get a little bit more posability, like it's eaten. And it's got some posability here, and here's where most of the die-cast for this thing is this is part of the arm, but in the paws and in the joints for the legs. And the tail kind of yellows, but since if you keep it displayed mostly in the Megazord formation, you don't even know this tail's there. And you can kind of do this and listen to that nice ratchet joint, because this becomes an arm, and you can kind of get it laying down and like a swimming position for, and then you can have it hunched over, like again, eating some food. So now I'm not sure how you're supposed to put this for the little platform they give you, but just kind of keep it as is. You're pretty much going to keep all the Zords as is, just in a stable position. And then let's move on to the shark. And he's got a little bit of posability here because he becomes the arm, but you can kind of have him down it. And one thing you're going to notice is most of the time this piece is missing. While the WildForce Megazord is not known for its sword, I just happen to have gotten this with the sword, but it's not a deal breaker. And then he's got little fin posability, and he's got a little wheel underneath, because this also has wheels so he can roll around, and he rolls quite well. And he also has an opening jaw feature, but kind of messes, it doesn't mess with the wheel too much if you keep it open enough. But yeah, so to have him prepared, just keep him as is. And then we kind of get to the core and the most posable of the units, the lion with opening mouth. And in terms of where the die cast is, the lower leg is kind of the main chunk, and this as well. Like the lower legs are where most of the die cast is. I want to say there's a little bit more in the Japanese, but I just don't know where. But he also has a little tail. And most of the posability is because of transformation, because this becomes the core of the Megazords for most combinations, unless you swap them out with other Zords. But he's got quite a bit of joints to move around, and yeah, so to kind of put them into the carrier mode, just put lion front, tiger behind, or tiger on top. Just put him somewhere where he kind of stays, and then just kind of fold up the shark a bit, tuck it in there, and do the same with the tiger, just kind of place it on there. Now there was a platform that pegs into the top of this, but I don't have that and didn't really need it. So let's get into the transformation, and it starts with the bison unit, well, the bison Zord. So fold up the wheels and bring it back to this. And if you notice, there's little pegs here, and then there's little clips. So then take that in, turn this so it becomes the feet, then fold the back panels together, and then separate the legs. One moment, just adjusting the camera. And then turn this around and put the head down with the horns facing at a 45-degree angle upwards. So then we're going to take the lion Zord and pull these little thruster bits out. I mean, they kind of look like thrusters. And then put the leg like this, and the leg, well, it's probably better if you put it, actually, I kind of want to do them both at the same time. Oops, sorry, I didn't show that. Kind of want to put them in at the same time, even though this does pop out a little bit to give you some clearance, and then do the same on the other side. And then that's pretty much done. Close the mouth a little bit. And then take the bison, there's pegs under there, ports up there, and there's a little lip on the lion, and you just kind of want to, and then clip it in, just like that. And that's a pretty stable connection. So then we'll transform this. So just fold those feet in. Spread this apart a little bit just to get the tail through. Fold back the tail. And then these are going to pop out a little bit. Then just tuck them in. And put it down and repeat the same on the other side. And one thing you can do is you can kind of bend what was the stomach and pull the head out just so you got a little bit more head posability, and then kind of close the gap between these two things. and you have the arm, well, one of the arms. Now with the shark, pretty much just spread him apart, bend him a little bit, open the mouth, turn out that little port, take out the tail, and just kind of slide it into there just to kind of give him some weaponry. Now, this is going to be like the most common thing missing from this, outside of the little platform. Take it or leave it if you want a complete Megazord, but for the most part, it's just kind of there. And then you take the eagle, kind of stretch it out a bit, and have it so that the wings face, well, didn't show what I did, just straighten out the legs. So it's like this, and this little bit stays up, and then set it so that the hinge is facing the eagle head, so like that. And then you want to plop him into this little groove here where his legs rest in there. Now it's going to push down on the mane of the lion to give it room. Now for the Animus combination, you just leave these up, but for here, for the WildForce Megazord, tuck it under so it kind of makes the mane look a little bit more pronounced of the lion, and then turn the head, and exposing the head. Let me just kind of give a good pan of this. Now this is where you see most of the die cast from the individual Zords besides the lion and the eagle, but you can see the shoulders, the bison legs, and it's surprisingly a decent range of, one moment, I'm just going to move this onto something a little bit more tall, just so you can kind of see this at face height. And yeah, I'm sorry you can't see all of it, but my tripod's a little, does not fit my phone sort of thing. But yeah, you got a kind of pivot in the shoulder, so you can kind of be like this or this, even though this kind of fits more of the Kongazord, which I do not have, unfortunately. And got this is like the one loose thing, but I just kind of pose it like he's about to start the fight with this kind of posed. But yeah, he's one of the first and only mecha that actually have movable elbow joints, which is something I really liked about this as a kid, is that it had elbows. I mean, how often do you get that nowadays in a Sentai and Power Ranger mech with elbows? But yeah, that is the Power Rangers WildForce Megazord. Thank you guys for watching, and let me know what was your favorite WildForce Zord or Megazord. As a note, my favorite was the Gorilla, just because you could do a little bit more with it, and I remember having a ton of fun with the Gorilla Zord, even though there were 3 versions of that, and it taunts me to this day. But thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one.